So here's part 2 of our pea puffer tank. This is going to be us actually taking all the live plants and putting it in. We do have a list of all the plants that we did purchase and are planning on putting into it on the screen there. Before we do anything, we are going to be putting some fertilizer tabs in. And I also do use liquid fertilizer after we do get the tank full, and we're going to start using chemicals. I like to do this just right before, that way you can kind of think about your placement of all the plants, just kind of put everything in with all the plants in after. And a big thing to kind of keep in mind, especially with a pea puffer tank, is you kind of want to have some sight breaks, that way they do have a spot to kind of relax and retreat, especially since pea puffers are so territorial. One of my favorite things about fish keeping is the plants, because a lot of the plants I do choose, I kind of think about the propagation of them. That way, once they do kind of start to grow in, you can start taking trimmings off of plants, especially stem plants, and kind of replanting them in the tank to kind of give you more coverage. And as I mentioned in the earlier videos, I do like to kind of fill it nice and slow. That way it doesn't disturb the sand too much. As you could have seen, it did get a little bit of cloudiness in there, but that's totally normal. The filter will take care of that right away. I really like floating plants just because it does kind of block a little bit of the light from the lid at the end. And it also kind of gives you a little bit more coverage, especially with the frog bit and kind of water lettuce too. One of the challenges that I have ran into is whenever I use a hang-on back filter, it is a little challenging to kind of keep the floaters doing good and thriving. So one little hack that I've learned is if you take some of your airline tubing, you can put it into some spare suction cups, and you can kind of use it to place it on the glass and kind of corral all the plants into an area. That way they aren't getting too disturbed by the current of the water. And you can do this, like I said, with any spare airline tubing. Not all suction cups work, but I just had these on hand, so it works out great. One of the things that kind of discouraged me when I first started doing aquariums is whenever I did place plants in, it is normal for plants to kind of melt off a little bit or kind of go through a little cycle where they might look like they might be dying, but plants normally come back after a little bit. Just hang in there. But if you want to follow and like for part 3 where we actually get this tank going, please do.